Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you spending an hour with us for our questions from the Courtyard Upper School Edition. In the next hour, we hope that you will be excited and wanting to learn more about Blake's Upper School. I'm going to introduce myself and then ask some of our students who are with us to introduce themselves to you and my colleague. Again, as I said, my name is Adriana Matsky. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions at the Blake School, working with families primarily exploring Blake for grades 6 through 12. This is my 19th year at the Blake School. My husband and I have 2 children. Our oldest son graduated from Blake in 2016 and recently graduated from UW-Madison with a degree in education and special ed. And our youngest son, William, is a current junior here at Blake. I'm going to ask my colleague Heather to introduce herself, and then again, you'll hear from some students who are with us today as well.
Hi everyone, Heather Falsani, the newest member to Blake's admissions team. I'm focused on outreach and digital content, and we're really excited to have you here today. At the end of our presentation, if you want to use the Q&A feature to ask questions, we've got a great lineup of students who are going to introduce themselves now, and then we'll stay on and answer your questions. I'm going to pass it over to Jingjing.
Hi, my name is Jingjing, and I am a current senior here at Blake. I came to Blake in 9th grade from a Chinese immersion school called Inghua Academy.
Hi, my name is Matt Carlson. I am a senior. I came here in 9th grade from Minnetonka.
Hi, I'm Noor. I'm a current junior. I came to Blake also in 9th grade from the International School of Minnesota.
Great. So as you can see, we have some wonderful student ambassadors here with us. As Ms. Falsani mentioned, they will be here at the end for our Q&A session, so you can ask them questions about their experiences either through the transition or currently here at Blake. So a little bit about today. We're going to go through a few slides to just give you a brief introduction and overview of Blake pre-K through 12. Then we will share an upper school specific video with you. And then at the end, again, we'll open it up to questions from all of you. So at Blake, we do have a 3-campus system. Blake is over 100 years old, but the Blake that you know it now is the result of a merger from the early 70s. This here is a picture of our upper school campus. This previously was the Northrop Collegiate School for Girls. Where our Hopkins campus was the Blake School for Boys, and where our Wayzata campus was the Wayzata Country Day School. Again, these 3 schools merged in the early 70s to become the Blake School as we know it now, a pre-K through 12 co-ed school. We do have, there's many benefits to having a 3-campus model. Several of them you'll hear about in the video, but again, I'll just share some of those aspects with you now. In lower school, it provides our 5th graders an opportunity to be leaders within their community, same with our 8th graders in our middle school. And then our upper schoolers, again, there's lots of times pre-K through 12 where students can really take on the role of being leaders in their community. It also allows for a real true transition from lower school to middle school and from middle school to upper school as you're changing campuses in some cases in divisions from 5th to 6th. Again, even if you've been at Hopkins campus in lower school, it feels much like a true transition to a middle school if you're moving into our middle school space and the high craft kids are joining you. Each of our spaces are able to focus on meeting the educational needs of the students within those spaces. Enrollment at the Blake School is around 1,350 students. Again, that's pre-K through 12, so 14 grades and 3 campuses. It allows for smaller communities to develop within the walls of each of our spaces. So I'm going to show you just a couple of pictures of our other campuses. This is our Hopkins campus, where it houses one of our lower schools, pre-K through 5. In addition, again, our middle school in a separate space, but at the same campus. This is a picture of our new front. We just went through a renovation. This is our new front entry. This is also where our athletic facilities are. So many of our upper school students who participate in athletics after school come to the Hopkins campus for their athletics. And here is a picture of our Wayzata campus, again, a pre-K through 5 campus. I'm going to talk a little bit about the classroom experience at Blake. The strength of our program certainly comes from our faculty. 75% of our faculty members do have an advanced degree, meaning a master's or a doctorate. We do global searches here at Blake when a position is open, so we search far and wide, and including the local community, to make sure that we are able to hire the best fit for each of our open positions. Faculty here at Blake love to teach the students here. They know that the students that they're going to be engaging with are curious and bright, excited students who come from families who are excited and great partners with each student and administrator. The class size at Blake is also a key piece to the exceptional experience that we are able to provide. The average class size pre-K through 12 is 16. In lower school, within each of our classrooms, the average size is 19, but grades 6 through 12, it truly is an average class size of 16, with 18 really being the cap. At the core of Blake is our commitment to pluralism. And so what does that mean? These are some data points that sort of share with many of you a little bit about our diverse communities. So over 50 languages are spoken in Blake homes. 24% of our students receive need-based assistance. Our students and families come from over 61 cities and towns in the Twin Cities, and 36% of our students identify as people of color. However, at Blake, a commitment to pluralism means taking it beyond that. So beyond just having a diverse community, our commitment to pluralism means really engaging across those differences. It is Blake's mission that every student can bring their full self to school and feel safe and heard. We have the Office of Equity and Community Engagement that oversees some of this work through affinity groups for students, families, and employees. We also have a pre-K through 12 Director of Equity and Instruction. That person works with our teachers to make sure that their curriculum and their individual lessons is diverse of many voices and experiences. Another part of our Office of Equity and Community Engagement and our commitment to pluralism is our service learning. We have a pre-K through 12 service learning department chair who oversees much of our service work, whether it be through our all school service and community day called Legacy Day, which typically happens in the fall, or whether it be through our community service board in the upper school or our middle school service club. We partner with over 40 local community organizations. Blake also offers some credit-bearing global immersion programs each year. So over the past years, we have sent students to Rwanda and Vietnam and Cuba, to name just a few. So these course credit opportunities provide some educational experience before they travel, then the immersion travel experience itself. And then when students return, there is some reflection, wrap up, and presentation that is required as part of that. Blake is also the only school in Minnesota who is a member of Global Online Academy, where students are offered the opportunity to enroll in a course taught by faculty from around the world and with students also from around the world. Arts and athletics are also essential to the academic experience here at Blake. Pre-K through 12, we have 45 different concerts and drama productions in a year. In addition to that, theater and art offerings are aplenty in our schools. So in middle school, students can choose between woodshop and visual arts and theater. And in upper school, the opportunities expand into ceramics and photography and printmaking, to name just a few. 83% of our students in upper school participate in athletics. You'll hear a little bit about that in the video and through our students who will share with you their athletic participation experience. Blake does have a no-cut policy, which means that student athletes are able to participate in the sport and on the athletic team of their choice. We just work with students and families to try to find the right fit team. So if you want to try out for soccer and you haven't played before and you're a 10th grader, that's totally okay. We'll work with you and find a place that is the right fit. College counseling, of course, is an important piece to our upper school experience. And I know some of the students on our panel today can share with you a little bit about their experience. The College Counseling Department provides community education opportunities for all upper school and sometimes middle school families as well. They'll host some evenings that are available for families to start thinking about the college process, either through their affordability evening. They have an athletics focused evening. They also send out frequent newsletters to students and families to start to think about and focus on different areas depending on what grade you're in. Sophomore and junior year, students will participate or can participate in college seminar, where they will learn about the college application process as well as do test prep. And then junior year, they will be assigned a specific college counselor who will work with them and their family as they go through the college application process. It is important to note that the motto of our college counseling department is that college is a match to be made, not a prize to be won. So super important in their work to work with students to find really, truly the right fit for each one. Here is a snapshot of our class of 2019, representing some of the many colleges that some of them are headed off to. So next, I'm going to start our upper school video. So you'll have a chance to hear from 3 of our upper school admissions ambassadors who are not here with us today, talk about our upper school. And then when we come back together, we will open it up to your questions.
Welcome to Blake, an independent co-ed day school for students in pre-kindergarten through grade 12. We'd like to show you our upper school, which serves students in grades 9 through 12. Located in Minneapolis, our upper school is home to a vibrant community of teachers and students who engage in thoughtful discussions and meaningful activities that broaden their understanding of each other and the world. Blake's upper school is small, about 135 students in each grade, so every student is well known and individually encouraged to do their best. Blake students receive academic instruction that challenges them and comprehensive support to help them thrive. Blake also provides multiple avenues for creative expression, athletic achievement, leadership development, off-campus study, and global immersion experiences.
Our campus is the site of a warm, energetic community of students and adults. Twice a week, all school assemblies feature senior speeches, student presentations, community announcements, and guest speakers. Student lounge spaces are where students socialize, do homework, prepare for class, or just simply relax. Another way we build community is through our advisory and grade dean system. Each grade has a dean whose primary focus is to know and understand the needs of that grade and the individual students in that grade. Advisories in the upper school stays the same the entire 4 years with the same students and the same advisor. As a new student to Blake, I was understandably pretty nervous to be on my high school experience with a bunch of people I didn't know. Fortunately for me, my advisor was very welcoming and inclusive to me and really helped me find my way in my first few weeks at Blake.
Blake offers a comprehensive college counseling program, which begins sophomore year. In junior year, students have the option to do test prep during the school day. Midway through the junior year, students are assigned a specific college counselor who helps guide them and their family through the search and application process. The college counseling team helps students have a choice among many colleges that would be a good fit for their interests and needs. Blake's motto is, college is a match to be made, not a prize to be won. At Blake, we see all students as emerging artists. Upper school students take at least 4 semester-long art courses and may choose from 14 different electives in visual arts, theater, debate, and music. Some choose to pursue a single subject in depth, while others sample the breadth of courses offered. Blake Athletics helps students live up to their full potential.
All upper school students play on a team for at least one season in grade 9 and grade 10. Student athletes are able to gain confidence, strengthen leadership skills, and work as a team. Blake has a no-cut policy, so students are able to participate in the sport of their choice. I personally have played tennis and lacrosse for Blake and have had so much fun over the years. The best part of it is that you get to be with a group of people with a common interest, and you get to have fun while doing it with people from multiple grades. As an upper school student, it's so nice to get to know people in the middle school while also connecting with upperclassmen. Blake's academically rich program offers lots of choice, more than 30 different art classes, 18 social studies electives, to name a few. Required courses challenge students to think critically and creatively, and electives offer opportunities to explore specialized topics in depth. Advanced placement courses are all offered in core subjects.
Upper school students take advantage of the Math Learning Center. The space in the Math Wing is staffed the entire day by math faculty so students can get help and strengthen their skills during study hall or free time. The upper school campus ensures that our older students have educational facilities designed for their needs and interests, with proximity to the Cultural and Business Center of Minneapolis.
Our mission is to engage students with a dynamic, academically challenging education in a diverse and supportive school community committed to pluralism and a common set of values. Students at Blake pursue an integrated program of academic, artistic, and athletic activities, preparing for college, lifelong learning, and purposeful lives as community and global citizens. We welcome your interest in Blake and are happy to set up a personal tour. Learn more at blakeschool.org/admissions.
All right, well, hopefully that was able to give you a great introduction into our upper school program. So at this time, we encourage you to use the Q&A function located along the bottom of your screen to submit questions to our 3 student panelists and of course of myself. And while we wait for some questions to come in, I'm going to ask the students to share with everybody a sneak peek of what sorts of ways that you are engaged in Blake, whether it be through co-curricular, leadership opportunities, and or athletics. If you just want to go in the order that you introduced yourselves, that would be great while we again wait for some questions to come in.
Hi, again, my name is Jingjing and I'm a current senior here at Blake. I have participated in multiple sports. I play on the Ultimate Frisbee team, and I used to play on the hockey team, and I am also on the Nordic ski team. And then I am also part of Blake's Community Service Board, and part of one of the committees that is part of that board, which is the Crisis Nursery Youth Advisory Board, and the Community Service Board is there to help engage students in community service. And then I also participate in a program called Learning Works that is a partnership with Minneapolis Public Schools to assist students at Minneapolis Public Schools with like education and advice for like high school and college things.
Again, I'm Matt Carlson. I'm a senior. I'm on the soccer team and the Ultimate Frisbee team. I've done both of those all 4 years, and I'm also in a club called Habitat for Humanity, where we go around helping different people in need build houses or different rooms for themselves and helping clean up and things like that. I'm also involved in activities like ping pong club and the Spanish club, where we was started last year by 2 seniors last year, where we help people with their Spanish homework or have different Spanish foods or watch different Spanish movies. But yeah.
Hi, I'm Noor again, and I'm a junior. I'm on the swim team and have been since freshman year. I'm also a managing editor for Spectrum, which is our school newspaper. I am an officer for our DECA chapter, which is a business and entrepreneurship club. I'm a Learning Works teacher, which Jingjing mentioned, so yeah. And I'm also on SDLC, which is Student Diversity Leadership Council.
Jingjing or Noor, whoever wants to take this one, could you share with our participants what Learning Works is?
Yeah, I can. We actually have a Learning Works session this weekend, and so it's both a program over the summer and during the school year. They are slightly different programs, but students can enter, Minneapolis Public School students can enter the Learning Works program starting in 7th grade, and they make a commitment to be part of Learning Works throughout their 7th grade and 8th grade year, both over the summer and during the school year. And so I didn't work over the summer, but for the school year, it happens about once a month on a Saturday morning. And right now it is over Zoom. However, students will log in. We have advisories, which was mentioned in the video, kind of like we have at Blake, where students are combined into a group with teaching volunteers who are either upper school students at Blake or former Learning Works students. And we connect with them and we teach classes. So for example, I am teaching a like American Sign Language class. And so that's like a fun exploration class, we call it. But also often during the school year or over the summer, typical school courses such as science, math, English, social studies are taught as well.
Thank you so much. Matt, I'm wondering, being you have a unique perspective, and I know lots of families who are considering Blake for upper school are coming from schools similar to Minnetonka, so a larger public school, and have questions about both social and academic transitions. Like, is the workload gonna go up so much that my student won't be able to handle it, and how are they gonna make friends? If you could maybe talk a little bit about your transition, what were your perceptions of Blake, maybe as you started the school exploration process, and then a little bit about what worked in your successful transition?
Yeah, so my transition was from Minnetonka, which is a very big public school, like 800 kids per class. And the reason I was looking into Blake is it is a smaller school with a close-knit community, and that's what I was wanting. And I was wanting a relationship with my teachers where I was able to connect with them, and have personal connections with them and other classmates. So that's what drew me. The transition was really smooth. Blake understands that public school is pretty different than private school. And I was doing Spanish immersion at Minnetonka. So they were very understanding. All the teachers are understanding, and they're going to get you caught up right away with the lifestyle of Blake. The first couple of weeks, I was working hard with my teachers, and they were explaining the process of what Blake looks like and what they expect out of you. And they're not just going to leave you there to suffer on your own. They're going to make sure they're there with you every single step. And it's such a smooth process. And there's so many activities that you do before going to Blake, such as we had like an ice cream social where I got to know different classmates before coming to Blake. And playing soccer, being in a fall sport, I was able to develop connections and with other classmates, and connections not just in my own grade, but from all different grades.
Great, thank you. We do have a question here that's a family is asking about sort of our classroom experience because of COVID. So I will answer it for everybody so they can hear. We are in a hybrid model where students are in school on Mondays, Wednesdays, or Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then there's this alternating Fridays, and then they have asynchronous work on the days that they're not here. So the 3 students that you have here with us today are students who are not in school in person today, but are supposed to be doing schoolwork on the days that they're at home, but they're taking a break to join us here. So I don't know if any of the 3 of you want to talk about sort of how this is going for you in this crazy time of a pandemic and the hybrid model, sort of what is working well, and maybe sort of just the benefit of being able to be back in person for some of the days.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So, I personally I like hybrid school. I think it's definitely more engaging, obviously, than remote learning, which we did at the end of last year. And I like the more like independent aspect where you just kind of have work that you have to get done, but it's up to you how to like divide your time. I like having that flexibility. And but at the same time, like teachers are free to Zoom, like even if you're at home, which is super helpful. If Because if things are due that day, like you can talk to your teacher and work something out. And at the end of the day, like we're in the middle of a pandemic and our teachers know that, and they're not super like they're just I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic and they get that and we get that, and everyone's just kind of figuring it out. So no one's too harsh or anything at all, because we are still figuring it out. But I think that as far as it's going so far, it's working out pretty well for me at least.
You also feel very safe at school, so it's only half the school in the school per day. All the students are wearing masks, everyone's social distancing in classes and everything. So you feel super safe, but being able to go into school and having some type of social connection with other classmates is still really nice, and it's been good for learning for most people, I would say.
Jingjing, I know, Matt, you mentioned being at a Spanish immersion, but you also came from an immersion school. So if you could talk about a little bit how the school worked with you in a transition from an immersion school.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I attended a Chinese immersion school before coming to Blake. My school, it was a charter school, so it wasn't run through the public school system. I would say it was maybe a little more similar to Blake's like teaching style than possibly Minnetonka. I'm not sure though. But I would say that the transition, it was a little tough at first, but as Matt said, that the teachers are super understanding. They know that you're a new student. They know that you aren't used to like the Blake curriculum or how they are the expectations of Blake teachers. And so I met with teachers quite often during freshman year, especially at the beginning, and they just helped me get through it. They, met with me one-on-one, explained that, oh, maybe I know this is how you did at your old school, but we would like to see you try and do it this way. And it was super helpful knowing that I could just do my best. And if I did it wrong or it wasn't up to their expectations, they would just help me with it. And so that made me feel a lot more comfortable and just eased my transition into Blake.
I think for me personally, as an employee, but more specifically as a parent, I think what makes the Blake experience so amazing is our faculty and some of the administrators who you interact with. I'm wondering if the three of you could sort of think about one or two faculty, coaches, or admin who you have really a strong, great connection with, and if you could talk a little bit about that piece, or if you want to talk about in general, sort of the interactions that you have with teachers to help sort of explain for families who are looking at Blake a little bit about the student-teacher relationship.
Yeah, so I can talk about that a little bit. So again, there's a pretty strong connection between students and teachers at Blake. The faculty at Blake and the different teachers really care about the students inside and outside of the classroom. So a lot of teachers will go to sports events, go to different theater events. You'll see them reading the Spectrum newspaper. So they want to be involved as much as they can in the student's life. Like I know a lot when I have like a soccer game tonight, the next day teachers will be commenting on it because they watched it, or they'll be asking me about it and all that because they really do care. My sophomore year, I had an English teacher. The first 5 minutes of class, every day she would check in on us and make sure everyone was doing good mentally. and just like a time to just, you know, like rant if you needed to, because you had someone there for you. But then we carried on with class, you know. So the teachers really do care about you inside and out of the classroom, and that really does show.
And I think another thing is that the teachers at Blake are just so passionate that even if you don't necessarily love the subject, you'll oftentimes end up just like feeding off of their energy. Last year, I took AP Calc AB with Dr. Cantrell, and he is just, well, first of all, he's like the smartest person ever, but he's also so like grounded and like down to earth and cares about us as people before like us being students. And he just cares so much about calculus and teaches it in such an interesting way. There's like, we didn't have a textbook because there's no textbook that is how he wants it to be. So he just like teaches us, and he taught us and gave us worksheets every day. And I learned so much, but it didn't really feel like it because I wasn't like doing problems in a textbook. But then I think everyone in my class did really well on the AP, and it was just a really overall like probably the best class I've ever taken, and just a really great atmosphere because everyone was excited because Dr. Cantrell is just so excited about calc.
Yeah, and then also I know it was mentioned earlier, but like our low student to like faculty or teacher ratio, and I think that is definitely one of the reasons why students come to Blake is they want that close those close relationships and those close connections with teachers, and with such a small class size, your teacher gets to know you on a personal level like very quickly. Like within like the first week of school, they know you by name. They know probably at least one activity you participate in. And that's one thing that I love about Blake. And you don't only get to like make those connections with your teachers, but like your whole community, your like classroom consists of your classmates and your teacher. It builds that like community in your class. And I've had classes with as few as like 10 people. And like Adriana said, it really doesn't go more than 18 people. And so even if you have 18, you know everyone by name, your teachers know you by name. And I have had teachers who I haven't had since freshman year, and I still pass them in the hall, and they greet me by my name. I say hi, we have a little conversation. So they really don't forget you, and you might cycle back and have their class later as like an upperclassman if you had them freshman year. And so you really build those close relationships, and you maintain them as well.
Thank you. We're not getting a ton of questions, but I do want to, before we depart, ask the seniors here, and then Noor, if you have something to add, I'd be happy to hear that as well. If you could just share a little bit about what the college process has been like for you in working with college counseling and sort of what that looks like.
Yeah, so obviously this year, actually right now, it's a lot of college stuff, getting ready for applications and everything. But college counseling's got your back. I started the process with them last year, and they work with you from everything from ACT to submitting your application. They remind you during the summer to do certain things, and they have a lot of surveys and deadlines so that you're not falling behind. For example, we have to submit our applications 72 hours before they're actually due, so then we don't have the stress of submitting them in time and stuff like that. They also are going to make you look into schools that they know you might like, and they want you to push yourself to explore your horizons and be involved in as many things as you can, such as going to college fairs. But they're really there for you to help, and they're gonna follow what you want, and they're gonna give you good advice. They're gonna be real with you, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm also a senior going through the college application process right now. And I mean, you get paired with a college counselor, like a personal college counselor. They're there for you. You get assigned a college counselor end of junior year. And if, I don't know exactly what the numbers is, but there's 3 college counselors, and there's about 135 students per class. So it's really, each college counselor has quite a few students they work with, but compared to like the national average in public schools, it's like 455 students per college counselor. I'd say that Blake, they make it really accessible for you to connect with someone and have your questions answered, and they're there to help you along the way, and they care about you as a person. College counselors actually write a recommendation for you when you go to college, and so they learn about you. They want to know like how like what you do in your free time, like what classes you're taking, what you did before you came to Blake. They want to know all these things about you because they genuinely care and they want to do the best that they can for you. And my experience with my college counselor has been really great. And even though at times I feel behind, I know that I'm actually not, because it feels like it. They set you deadlines that you have to complete things by, like Matt said. And so even though it feels like you're behind, they are there to make sure you don't get behind, and actually you're probably ahead of most people. So I would say that my college counseling experience so far has been really good.
Thank you. So with that, I think we're going to wrap it up. We do record these events, so we'll be able to share them out to you if you want to go back and reference it again. We do have 2 more upper school questions from the Courtyard events. We will have different ambassadors on each of our events, but again, all will be recorded and accessible if you want to go back. Before I send you on your way, I will encourage all of you to continue to stay engaged with us, whether that be an on-campus tour. We are doing in-person tours. We aren't allowed to step into the classrooms, but it's still a great way to see the school with the students and teachers here and interact with other people that you may meet along the way. And then also virtual events. As I mentioned, we have a couple more of these upper school specific events. We have Thursday special interest events. So we've had an athletics one this Thursday. We have an alumni panel. Our Office of Equity and Community Engagement, our head of school will be some of our Thursday speakers. And then we have our 2 larger events on October 31st and November 21st. Those are Discover Blake events, pre-K through 12, where you will be able to hear from many of our division administrators, more students, more parents. So that's another great opportunity. So we encourage you to stay engaged with us, again, through any one of these ways, and to certainly reach out to me directly if you have any specific questions that we didn't address here today. So thank you all again for spending your lunch hour with us. Thank you to our wonderful student ambassadors and my colleague, Ms. Falsani, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.